Whew, Hollywood is flipping out right now, and guess who's smack in the middle of the chaos? None other than Kanye West, and this time, he's airing it all out in a jaw-dropping twist that's got the entire industry frozen. You just put Kris Jenner on full blast, accusing her of allegedly helping Diddy pay off his witnesses behind closed doors. But hold on, it gets way messier. Kanye says Diddy didn't just cut checks to keep folks quiet, he also allegedly paid for Kris Jenner's latest makeover. A little sculpt, a little slice, and a whole lot of silence. According to Yeah, Kris wasn't just lurking in the background, she was masterminding the whole thing like it was chess, while the rest of us were stuck playing checkers. So now the real question is, was the Kardashian queenpin really involved in Diddy's shady dealings? Or did she swap insider info for a fresh new face? Looks like Kanye is pulling back the curtain on some of the ugliest alliances in Hollywood. This story goes deep, real deep, and we're diving straight into it. Let's get into this explosive mess, because once Kanye starts talking, it's a wrap. One thing you can count on, he's never letting up on the Kardashians. Ever since his split from Kim, Kanye has been stirring up the messiest claims about that entire family, and at this point, we've lost count. Now he's dropping another bomb, accusing his former mother-in-law Kris Jenner of allegedly being part of the crew that helped Diddy keep witnesses and victims from speaking out. And not gonna lie, this Kris Jenner twist, it's next level shocking, but if we're being real, folks have been whispering about Diddy allegedly paying people off for years. From hush money to full-blown intimidation, the accusations are all over the place. People who were once close to him, bodyguards, assistants, insiders, have quietly said for years that he ran his own tight system to keep drama under wraps. And we're not just talking about lawyers or PR teams. Nah, these sources claim Diddy had his own style of cleaning up problems, and it was far from clean. That included locking people into ironclad NDAs, or allegedly dropping stacks of cash just to keep mouths shut. Remember that footage of Diddy getting physical with Cassie at the Continental Hotel? Turns out he allegedly paid someone off to make that footage disappear. He really thought that was the only copy, but karma had other plans, because it came right back around, and that wasn't even the only hush payment. According to reports, there were several more just like it. While on duty as a security guard at the Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles in 2016, Flores said he was called to assist a woman in distress, and upon arrival, discovered Ventura and Combs, who was caught on security camera physically hurting his then girlfriend. As seen in the video submitted in the evidence shown in court, Flores testified that Combs told him the pair were arguing, and that Ventura tried to walk away with a ticket and her phone, but Combs told her she wasn't going to leave, according to NBC News. The former guard also described putting his body in the doorway for a few minutes until Ventura left the room. When the security guard began to leave, Combs allegedly offered him what Flores described as a bribe with a 3-word command. I started to leave and Combs called for me. Flores said while in the witness stand, he had a sack of money and he threw it at me and said, "Don't tell anyone." But hold on, because the tea keeps flowing. A former bodyguard allegedly spilled to an independent journalist that Diddy had what he called a slush fund. Basically, this was a secret stash of cash set aside just to handle potential scandals before they ever saw the light of day. And we're not just talking about hush money. This fund allegedly covered everything from flying accusers out of the country to tucking them away somewhere far and quiet. In other cases, it meant setting people up in luxury apartments, giving them monthly payments, or sliding them fat envelopes of cash, along with contracts that made sure they stayed silent. But it didn't always stop with the money. Multiple sources are saying that when the cash wasn't enough, Diddy would allegedly take it up a notch. That means some people were being followed, monitored, or straight up scared into silence. One woman even shared that she got a random phone call from someone she'd never met, but the caller somehow knew private, chilling details about her daughter. She took that as a straight up warning to back off and zip it. This kind of behavior has people seriously raising eyebrows. The recurring pattern of sudden silence, surprise settlements, and accusers disappearing has led folks to believe there might be something more strategic happening behind the curtain. And Diddy, he might not have been moving solo in this mess. Think about it. There were so many people involved, and Diddy is just one man, so it wouldn't be surprising if he had help handling all this behind the scenes. And according to Kanye, Kris Jenner was allegedly part of that help. If you're sitting there wondering why Kris would get caught up in any of this, well, Kanye says it's all about the money. He claims Diddy allegedly keeps Kris well paid and supposedly tosses her a little bonus every time she steps in to assist with his shady business. But Kanye didn't stop there. He's saying Diddy allegedly dropped a bag on Kris's new look too. Y'all know people have been talking about how how Kris suddenly looks 20 years younger, and some even said she's starting to resemble Kendall. Well, Kanye's out here saying Diddy might have been the one footing that bill. Kris Jenner's face has been a trending topic lately, and not just because of how refreshed she looks. According to Kanye, Diddy allegedly paid for her latest round of cosmetic work. It's a bold claim, but the gossip blogs and internet detectives have been piecing together some very interesting clues. Word is, this wasn't just a minor touch-up. Kris allegedly got the full upgrade, and it was all courtesy of Diddy's checkbook. With federal heat, legal drama, and years of whispers finally catching up to him, Diddy's been under heavy fire, and who better to help smooth things over than Kris Jenner? Let's be real, this woman built an empire off flipping scandals into cash. Fans even noticed she vanished from the spotlight for a bit, then popped back out looking extra sculpted and about a decade younger. The timing suspiciously lined up with the early stages of Diddy's legal drama, just enough to get people talking. And now, folks are starting to believe Kris's involvement might go way deeper than PR damage control, which makes Kanye's claims sound a lot more believable. And honestly, if this surgery story is true, Diddy must have dropped some serious stacks on her transformation. At this point, the Kardashians have to be completely fed up with Kanye and his non-stop oversharing. Y'all remember when he accused Kim of trying to throw him into a conservatorship and have him locked away? Yeah, he said, "Everybody knows the movie Get Out is about me. Kim tried to bring a doctor to lock me up with a doctor. They tried to fly in with 2 doctors to 5150 meters. I've been trying to get a divorce since Kim met with Meek at the Waldorf for prison reform. I got 200 more to go. This is my last suite of the night. Kris, John, Kim was trying to fly to Wyoming with a doctor to lock me up on the movie Get Out because I cried about saving my daughter's life yesterday." Y'all, he been running his mouth for years now, and that's exactly how we got caught up in this messy situation between him, Kris, and Diddy. And get this, it ain't even the first time the Kardashians been tangled up with Diddy. Like, people been whispering for a while now that Kris's church might be more than just a place of worship, right? Well, turns out those whispers lead straight to Diddy. It's really looking like she built that church as a low-key cover for whatever he got going on. Now the church is called the California Community Church, and at first everybody thought it was just some fancy setup to duck taxes. But nope, Kris came up with that bright idea back in 2009 and got it all official as a non-profit. Sounds slick, huh? And again, this ain't the first time her crew been connected to Diddy. These ties run deeper than folks realize, but it really starts sounding wild when you hear how much members gotta drop just to be part of it. Like, they're expected to pay $1,000 a month, plus donate 10% of their yearly income. And guess who's leading by example? Yep, the Kardashians themselves, front and center, writing those big checks like it's nothing. Now here's where it gets real sketchy. That 10% ain't just some generous offering, it turns into a big old tax break. And considering Kim claims she's raking in $80 million a year, that means she's writing off a crazy $8 million annually, all thanks to this little church setup. It's a slick move, can't lie, but it really starts to blur that line between giving from the heart and hustling the system. That same 10% donation, for Kim it's basically an $8 million coupon from the IRS. And that's not even the juiciest part. Kris ain't just some figurehead sitting in the background. She's the one calling all the shots at that church. So when her daughters drop their 10%, it's pretty much flowing right back into Mama Kris's pockets. And oh, it gets even juicier. Kris could be flipping that money back to her girls like it's a business deal. So they're out here looking generous, but really they're barely losing anything while stacking up all the benefits. It's like they cracked the tax code and went full mastermind. Keep that church situation in the back of your head, because we're definitely gonna circle back. Even with all that money, folks are saying Kris might actually be low-key broke. She's sitting on a pile of debt, and according to the Sun, she first took out a loan for $7.25 million in August 2018, but the following month there was a superseded by a new agreement for a whopping $40 million loan through the financial company Crosswind Venture Fund. Then in January 2019, she borrowed $5.2 million and $5.25 million in June of that year, according to property records. Things really took a sharp left turn when TikTok sleuth BB the songwriter started digging deep into the whispers about Kim and Diddy Diddy possibly having a hand in Britney Spears' conservatorship nightmare. And buckle up, because word on the curb is Kim may have tried to pull a similar slick move on Kanye. Sounds like some Hollywood fiction, right? But when you start lining up the receipts, it all starts looking real shady real quick. See, the Kardashians are tight with Lou Taylor, the same woman who had her hands all over Britney's situation. Lou's the boss over at TriStar Resports, an entertainment management company, and she's got a rep for playing hardball when it comes to business. Now you're probably wondering how Kris fits into this puzzle. Let me break it down for you. Remember that church Kris Jenner founded that we talked about earlier? At first, everyone thought it was just a clever way to slide around some tax bills, but hold up, there's more tea. Turns out Lou Taylor, the very same Lou wrapped up in Britney's conservatorship mess, was actually sitting on that church's board. And if that wasn't messy enough, word is Diddy's been throwing big money at that same church. Some folks claim those donations were used to quietly make problems go away, if you catch my drift. On the outside, it might look like your average charity work, but when you peek behind the curtain, it's giving something much darker.
24 hours before the raid, Kim Kardashian decides to unfollow Diddy, right? Well, come to find out, this person by the name of Lou Taylor is apparently Diddy's manager. And this Lou Taylor woman is also on the board of Hillsong's church home. Follow me, go with me. They are doing all of this, child, in the name of the Lord. Just follow the story. Now, to cover myself, everything in this video is alleged, honey. This is what I digged up, and I don't know how much truth is to it, but there's reportings, okay? So everything that I'm saying is allegedly. Keep that in mind. So, Lou Taylor apparently is paying off, allegedly, some of Diddy's victims from this slush fund through some church fund, okay? Not only that, Kim Kardashian mama has been making these girls pay 10% tithes to some church that Lou Taylor and her husband is basically owner, co-owner, or whatever. So I was like, let me look into this Lou Taylor person. I'm thinking Lou Taylor was a guy who was a woman with a husband, whole husband, and they doing ministry and everything. Now, mind you, y'all remember the whole thing with Britney Spears? So come to find out, Lou Taylor, this gets deep, y'all, hold on. Okay, so Lou Taylor is the CEO of TriStar Sports and Entertainment. She's like a business manager icon. Now, Mike, do y'all know the Lohans? What's the Lindsay Lohan? So she apparently, allegedly, she has been behind most of these stars' conservatorship situations, especially Britney Spears. So before we talk about Britney, Mike Lohan, which is the Lohan girl, Lindsay Lohan's daddy, accused Lou Taylor and the mama Dina Lohan for trying to put Lindsay Lohan in a conservatorship concerning her money. Also, allegedly, there's a lawsuit from 2021 with Astroworld tragedy, and she's being sued for employment discrimination. This is what this Lou lady is. Now, Lou Associates maintain intense control also over Britney Spears' life and money. And she was behind even the conservatorship of why Britney Spears had that conservatorship, because she ended up becoming the business manager and took over the financial pieces of Britney Spears' whole situationship.
And as if that ain't enough, there's more mess to unpack. Turns out Kris's man, Corey Gamble, is allegedly one of Diddy's loyal foot soldiers. Yeah, both Kris and Corey might have been out here moving in the shadows, helping Diddy clean up behind the scenes. And when it comes to Corey, the fans been side-eyeing him from the jump. His sudden glow up into fame, real mysterious. Even before he got cozy with Kris, Corey was already moving in some high-powered circles. Think Jeff Bezos, Justin Bieber, and Diddy himself. There's even been quiet talk that he was, let's just say, allegedly handling business for the elite crowd behind closed doors. But one thing nobody can deny about Corey, that man got undeniable charisma. He came up in Atlanta and was actually the captain of his high school football squad. You know the type, every teacher's favorite, always flashing that winning smile smile and could do no wrong in anybody's eyes. Yeah, that was allegedly Corey to a T. He always had that slick, effortless charm on lock. And y'all want to hear something real spicy? Word on the street is that Corey allegedly used to dabble in the adult film scene back when he was in Atlanta. Yup, that's how some folks say he first got a foot in the industry.
I have received numerous tips that all are very, very similar. And these tips came from individuals who have claimed to be familiar or know Corey Gamble from when he still lived and worked in Atlanta. Corey was once a performer in the adult film industry. Multiple people came to me sharing this information and that they had seen him while they were working on certain sets, and obviously I am not going to share their identity for their own protection.
And honestly, that might explain how he ended up on Diddy's radar, because y'all already know Diddy's name stays in the headlines for all kinds of wild party behavior and scandalous situations. The rumor mill has been buzzing that Corey might have been part of some LGBTQ+ adult film projects and got linked up with celebs through that, Diddy included. And with everything swirling around Diddy lately, let's just say we won't even open that can of worms right now. As for how Corey and Diddy actually crossed paths, it's still kind of murky, but some folks claim Farnsworth Bentley, who used to be Diddy's assistant and stylist, might have been the connection. Farnsworth and Corey both went to Morehouse, so people figured that's where it all started. Then supposedly Farnsworth introduced Corey to Diddy. Somewhere down the line, Corey slid right on over from Diddy's circle to Kris's arms, and the two been rolling together for 10 years now. But let's keep it real. Things were rocky in the beginning. Kris's kids, and Kanye especially, were giving Corey major side-eye, and you already know Kanye stayed calling folks out.
Kanye texted Corey something really rude. Kanye was like, I think it's weird, like we've never met his family.
That's weird.
I mean, of course we've all felt that way and thought that, but for Kanye to just so bluntly say that to him, I feel like that was the wrong choice to make at that time.
You guys sit and talk shit to Kanye, and if you talk shit to Kanye, he's gonna put that up here and run with it when he's, I'm not saying we're all different. How about you used to be weird? We all talk with each other.
But for whatever reason, Kris never seemed bothered by all the sketchy whispers surrounding Corey. She brushed off her family's concerns like it was no big deal. Back then, it seemed odd how chill she was. But now, with everything coming out, it kinda adds up. It's looking like Diddy might have already co-signed Corey's past to Kris from the jump. And when you factor in Kanye's old claims that Kris was Diddy's go-to problem solver, well, it starts painting a very different picture. Woo, y'all, this whole thing is a twisted roller coaster. Sound off in the comments with your thoughts, and don't forget to check out the next video. We're just getting started.